Alright, welcome back to the safety nets. I don't know about you, I still haven't quite recovered from that last game. Like, we weren't even playing, we weren't the Zerg dying, but I still felt the pain.
Well, Catz needed 30 seconds to remind himself he was playing Drunken Boy, so I think he's along the same lines as you.
Yeah, he said that in the lobby. Alright, well, spotting here in the southern location of Anti-Research Station, formerly known as Drunken Boy, it is Complexity's Red Terran Tyga.
The top position as the Orange Zerg, it's Catz.
I just feel so bad. You know, there was a game, the last time I felt that bad for somebody, I don't know if you recall this, it was Apocalypse versus a Protoss on Habitation Station, and Apocalypse only had enough production, about 5 Marines at a time per Oracle that kept coming in. So the first Oracle would kill all 5 Marines, kill 4 SCVs, run out of energy, hide in the corner, alive. Second Oracle and third Oracle, same thing. And by the time the 4th Oracle came, he finally gave up and tapped out. And I was just like, I feel so bad for him.
Here is why I feel bad, alright? I feel like everyone gets Protoss every once in a while. Oracles, sure. All-ins that you just simply do not expect. You didn't get to scout the the robo or the amount of gateways that you had. Like, sometimes it happens, right? But I feel like Zerg doesn't really get that surprise element. Usually, like, find out a roach mailing all-in is coming.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
right?
yeah.
You'll like, it might be like a little bit late, and you might be like still screwed. But you see the roaches coming along, like, from a long ways off, or you notice like the lack of a third is a little suspicious, or something like that. Like, it's never just like an in your face, they busted down the rocks and like you're screwed. Not until Expedition Lost came into the freaking map pool. Anyways. But like, for like, you know, the Zerg player already has it happen with the Protoss. Like, oh, I didn't scout the 7 gateways and they're at my front door. Damn. And that happened with Terran too. Like, 30 SCVs just came and I couldn't do anything about it.
I feel like Zerg all-ins are kind of scarier though, for the reasons you just said. Like, you'll scout it coming and you know you're screwed. Oh, yeah. It's like you see the guy pointing the gun at you, you know you're going to die. Like, you just, what can you do about it?
Yeah, when the banelings like morph and you know that they're there with like a howling, you're just like, ah. Yeah. But I do really feel quite bad for that Zerg player.
Yeah. So I guess there's 2 big differences for this one. One, Catz actually has a pretty safe natural base, so I don't think the same build catches them off guard the same way. I also imagine there'll probably be a little more diligence with the Overlords to get to the back of the base and see if an armory is being plopped down or something. Again, a Hellbat push is not impossible to hold. It's one of the harder holds you have to do as a Zerg player, but not at all impossible.
Yeah, yeah. And it really does, like, suck, like, you know, everything can look actually really normal depending on how you scout a course until you see that armory. Once the armory is there, you're like, oh, Hellbats, of course. Like, you know, don't need anything else to tell me that. But the armory can be really easily hidden. Van Research Station, if you get your Overlord in the back, actually a pretty good map for scouting. But yeah, there are other maps where it's just like you can't have like a really nice nook, and they will have Marines covering the Overlord. So I don't know why Catz hasn't moved that Overlord.
I thought he was just waiting for it to see if the SU was going to transfer for a Commencer or something. But okay, he was trying to save. I think he realized it wasn't going to save anyways. So he wanted to make sure he didn't miss the CC go down.
Yeah.
That is really unfortunate. A bad supply block if he was going for something like an all-in himself, but more importantly, scouting information heavily denied. Tyga, though, this time not go with Hellbats. Kind of, again, as predicted, you don't want one ramp to shut you down for an all-in, so goes for a pretty quick stim instead.
Yeah, they're still off of 1 base. This is weird. You know, we had the conversation like a while ago, like, they're not like that many weird Protoss players, right? Because Protoss just like has everything and it's pretty viable. But we found like our second Terran. There's the Lycanine, and now there's Tyga doing really weird stuff.
Well, I don't think I put Tyga quite on the Lycanine levels because
this is really weird.
Well, this is really weird. I'll grant you that. But I mean, like, when I think of Lycanine, he does these all-ins that are so committed. There's rarely a follow-up. Period. Whereas I know if Tyga does enough damage with whatever this 1 base plan of his is, he'll put down that command center. He'll try a macro out of it, but again, unlikely. If he could go for a kill move, he'll go for a kill move, and we saw that last game as well.
Yeah. The thing is that Zerg usually has the hardest time dealing with these type of weird things, which is why I was very impressed when Jon Snow reacted as well as he did versus like the DT into Immortal thing that State did. I was like, oh, he played it perfectly calm and he made it out alive. Because Zerg really depends on knowing what's happening. Like, can I drone? Do I need to get a Roach Horn? the Baneling Nest. So if you're like, okay, the command center didn't go down, but maybe it was in their main, I just didn't see it. Okay, I didn't see a main command center, so what else are they doing? Like, you're confused, and you just gotta hope that playing your normal game is going to work out.
This is so weird. So it's drops, but like really fast stim timing. The problem for Catz is he actually might not be able to deal with this because he decided to go 2-base Muta expecting something more of a factory build out of his opponent. Like, the build Catz is doing is great against everything except this.
Yeah. The thing is, like, Mutas are obviously very great at dealing with drops, but the drop's down. If the Marines are down, then they're actually not that helpful. 3 Mutas will die. If
Tyga just boosts in over the Spore Crawler, a couple shots might be all it takes. I mean, Marines are powerful with stim, sure, but it's the medevacs that grant them that power.
Catz must have had this happen to him before. Like, he might actually, like, I thought he was kind of like joking, like I gotta remind myself who I'm playing against, because you'll say that and like, yeah, okay, cheesy, whatever, but it seems like he exactly knows what type of builds Tyga has. So losing an Overlord, like, big deal, like, okay, it's kind of expected. The drops are almost guaranteed to live.
I like to focus on the medevacs too. This is a good choice. Loses a queen for it, but definitely worth it because it immediately halves the potential damage. He doesn't have Banelings. He's got a small amount of Lings. It's almost like a bluff here at the front of the ramp to try and hold this. Marines are going to get picked off pretty quickly by the Spine Car, but it as well goes down very quickly. New Queen, as well as some of these drones, everything he needs to get involved with the fight, because Catz has to hold on through this. He almost takes out that last medevac. 1 or 2 more shots might just do it, but oh, how can he deal with the Marines even without that medevac support? He's got to wait for those Lings to pop out, so he's got something to add to this. The Queens are doing a good job with the transfuses. Here comes a Mutalisk here too. And meanwhile, he has kept his drones alive. He's lost mining, he's lost a couple of queens, but Catz holds on without taking much, I'd say, severe damage.
I think that was a fantastic hold. He had the, you know, the drops, the natural dealt with, like, you weren't going to get in there with the Squircle and the queens, and yeah, sure, maybe he needed a few more Lings to really absolutely hold perfectly, but it's actually looking pretty good. Tyga, it did get back up to a second base. Has surprisingly good upgrades. Already 1 armor going down, but the drops weren't able. No, they were able to land. Just kidding. How?
I don't know. That would look like he was getting focused. I guess Catz perhaps got a little panicked with the amount of Marines on the ground, and I don't blame him. That is a lot of Marines to have down on the ground. But you know, the thing is, he might not be on his 3rd base, and that's what is kind of scary. We could normally write this off and be like, ah, he held and Tyga went for an all-in, right? But you just pointed out, Tyga's SCV count's not bad. His natural base is getting nicely saturated, especially with mules on top of it. Catz can't really afford to sit on 2 bases for too long.
I was gonna question, you know, is Catz gonna go for like an all-in right now? But that seems like a poor decision because the wall off is still there. Like, he hasn't taken a 3rd.
Oh, these one of mines are going to be nasty. Mutas get to the natural base. Sadly, there was nice turret coverage, so not quite worth it for Catz. But his Mutalisk count is bulking up.
His Muta count's gonna be very scary, you know? They already consider that a 2-base Muta player is gonna have earlier Mutas, but with how much he's putting into it, and if he puts anything more as the mid-game goes along, as he gets that 3rd base up, it could go up to that very scary number of like a 30, depending on if he wants to, right? Like, the high Muta counts is really falling into favor, but it is a little worrying that his 3rd base was so late. He absolutely had to defend that, of course, but it's kind of messing up the mid game a little bit, but technically for both players. Yeah, I mean, Tyga's 3rd exactly fast.
We have to consider that the potential damage Tyga had on Catz for that early attack, even here on the Mutalisk, like, those double drops were so close to going crazy damage. Like, if Catz didn't focus on that first medevac, he barely got the second one. Like, that could have been so much worse and spiraled so wickedly out of control. It really does take a top-notch player to stop that from dealing the damage it did. But because of this, it's not like Tyga's screwed. He does still have a really large force as he comes across the map. Catz doesn't quite have a Baneling count up. There is going to be a small Mutalisk, I guess, threat as a counter, but, I mean, I kind of feel Tyga could go to that 3rd and knock it down.
Good micro right there. There isn't enough production quite yet to actually hold off even this amount of Muta. It's not that high. At 12, usually like a Thor pops out at this time, and like Marines and stuff, but only 4 barracks production, 1 not produced. There we go.
Cancels the CC. Doesn't want to risk losing it. It's not a bad choice. But, you know, a 3rd for a 3rd, if he can knock down this hatchery, might be in a pretty good spot. Marines are finally starting to clump up to the point where they will focus on a couple of the Mutas, but Catz is dealing with them pretty efficiently.
Yeah. I mean, technically, if it's 3rd for a 3rd, I think it would be rather good for Tyga, but I don't know if it will be. The Banelings are here. The Woodamines are going to... Yeah, those are actually really nice.
How did they not hit the medivacs?
I was a little confused about that too. I didn't think the medevac was gonna die. But
It's like, do they hot fix it so we don't wreck like our own units anymore? That'd be cool.
Yeah, wouldn't it? But that Widowmine hit was really important. Again, we have a situation where it's a low amount of Marines, but suddenly the medevac count is really high. You just went over how killing one medevac was important. Now there's 4.
Catz, in the meantime, does get chased out of Tyga's base. And Tyga's not done just yet. Realizing there might be an opportunity to go for more, starts cleaning up some of the creep tumors. He knows that the meteor is coming out of the base. He now has to kind of worry about them coming home to defend. But, I mean, the damage was done, and I feel a Zerg player without a third base hurts a lot more than a Terran player without the third base.
Agreed. You know, in these kind of wonky situations, I guess you got to go back to the old standbys. Zerg wants to be up 1 base, always. He does clean up the the army plus all the medevac, which is really nice. Ooh, sneaky Widowmines. Hopefully, he doesn't transfer the drones into that one.
I think he's hoping it's gonna happen. Although he does kind of reveal it to Catz. The Marine count back at home is fine looking, but the reactor on the starport was killed, so the production on medevacs is just, it's one at a time. It's lackluster to say the least.
Whoa. Wait, did he lose the factory? Oh, he did. That's what he's building too. Okay. That was gonna go in like mech. That'd be cool.
First Widowmine is found out about. It's the second one he can move a little bit later. Yeah, like actually the factory, funny you bring that up, there's no Thors, right? So this actually becomes a real pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah.
Just because there's no range on the Mutalisks. Like, Marines' damage is great, no one's ever going to say it's not, but they don't have the range to zone this out the same way a Thor does.
The lack of a basically, the lack of Widowmine is also really important. Like, the factory is absolutely a very important part of TVZ. And use your splash, and you need splash. We haven't been going bio and TVZ since, like, Marine King in Wings of Liberty. And even then, it was, I don't know. It's Marine King splits, that's what. So this is really worrying. Thor, absolutely necessary. I would love if he had like 5 mines right now instead of 0.
Yes, I think he would too. He's been in a bit of a rough spot with his production.
Yeah, and now, you know, he can't push out from this. He's kind of being contained.
He's pulling some boys? Unless that's just a very awkward transfer, which it is.
Modern out. Oh god.
Oh man. Well, they eat the Banelings. This might not be too bad for the army. Marauders in the front lines might soak some of the rest, but the Marines are running for their lives through this. Now that they've cleaned it up, it's just Mutalisks, and Mutalisks alone are not that scary for someone who's got this many Marines with or without medevacs, so could continue to transfer over this third, but yeah, losing 14 SCVs like that, that's, it kind of worked out for him in a way, but I don't think that's how you would want to use your SCVs.
Yeah. No. Luckily, his medevac production is back up to what it should be, 2 at a time. The upgrades, I mentioned like 8 minutes ago, but again, they're at 3-2 already. Just 2-2 is finishing up on time perfectly for Catz, and this might be what he needs. No, big chunk of the army does survive, and the Thor.
Yeah, Thor actually eats like 5 of the Banelings at the end. That was pretty critical to keeping the small amount of Marines left alive. Yeah, it's been kind of scrappy out of Catz. Like, he's been really trying to go for this kill move. Perhaps a little too long, I would almost argue. His upgrades are looking okay. His third base is up and running, but I mean, rather than say continue to pressure the third, which it's good, it's keeping Tyga from pushing himself. We don't have drops coming out because of this, but you know, maybe take a 4th, maybe take a 5th, take the gold base. You know, just extend your lead rather than throw away all these lings for nothing. Yeah,
especially since he is floating a couple of minerals. Doesn't have enough larva to really use it. I definitely would be in favor of that 4th base, but it's still feeling like a Catz's like game here, despite being on even bases with a Terran, which is usually a bad thing. He's done a good job containing, keeping Tyga still in a low economy because just how much he was muling on only 2 bases. You gotta consider that. 30 SCVs is not a lot. They're mining from all 3 bases, so it's not one of those situations where it's like just pick up all your SCVs, go to the 3rd that's fresh.
Yeah, he's got a lot of gas banked up right now, so there's no point talking about this this refinery here. But unfortunately, it looks like his production is a little bit exposed. So one turret's going to go a little bit of time, but he's almost better off picking up and boosting back home to defend. I don't know if these Marines will save him. Yeah, they'll pick it up for now. Tech lab repair.
A little bit of a ling attack at the 3rd and Banelings. Though, once again, that Thor being a hero. Thanks, Thor. The SCVs do live, but again, just like little bits here and there shaved off. The Marines go back into the natural. Just constant harassment from Catz, controlling this game.
Yeah, this is what you would expect out of a Terran player. Drop on the left, drop on the right, constantly attack, left, right, left, right, left, right. You have the Zerg player bouncing around like this, but it's Catz who's done the role reverse to turn it around on Tyga, who is up to this point has been kind of scrambling, right? Finally gets a little comfortable. He's got, I said that funny, comfortable. He gets the Thors down. He's able to start producing enough on this third base as well that he can start going for these drops without too much worry. This is no longer the entirety of his army, but a portion of it.
I don't know about just one drop though. That is it's kind of the worst thing you can do in a ZVT is only one drop.
Yeah,
even only 2 drops is kind of dangerous.
Speaking of dangerous.
Yeah, right. A very good position for those baneling drops, but you want to be able to have 1 or 2 drops as well as the main force. Like otherwise you're just gonna be picked off by the mutas. And thanks for the units.
Thor does need to reposition itself. Catz watching. He does land the baneling mine. Nice hit.
Very nice. Shooting the stupid overseer.
I know. I love. Okay,
Thors.
so Blizzard was like, let's make Thors better by making them auto-target air, but let's make sure they auto-target the stupidest things first all the time.
Yeah. Tyga, it's funny, he's kind of doing like a like a turtle right now, like turtle mech, but turtle bio.
It's kind of forced, though, with the Mutalisk count what it is. It's so hard to sneak past. I mean, 29 Mutalisks, your drops don't really stand a chance. Like, 8 Marines is not that scary for even the Mutalisk to deal with. And
right.
Sadly, with the Overlord spread, Tyga is going to get caught and he's going to lose 2 supply. He's going to unload right away, realizing this. Nope.
It doesn't.
Oh.
There's actually not that many abusive ledges on Van Eye to even stop like the Lings from helping out the mutas. And as you said, mutas themselves are perfectly fine at this. They have those upgrades as well, +2. If he's going to continue investing in the mutas, again, he did get up to that 30 count that we talked about earlier at the beginning of this game. Why not go for +1 Carapace, +3 flyer attacks? Like, keep going.
Oh, he's on his way to just finishes up that hive. I'm not sure if we'll go for Blind Clouds to complement this or maybe we move towards Ultralisks. There's so many Widowmines though finally for Tyga. Like he's at this count where he might be able to just, as weird as it is to phrase it, gamble his way to victory. Widowmines can sometimes just be the Kingmakers through luck alone.
Yeah. He certainly has a nice army supply. He has that upgrade lead as well, with +3 armor on the way. The Mute is getting the natural, and oh my god, there's no man to take it out.
Ravage everything. But this is a large portion of Catz's army that's not at home defending. Can the Banelings do it? Again, a couple of my shots might be gone, but they go off on the Lings, not the Banelings. That third one was good though. But the bio is gone, and now it's just 3 Thors and 2 Marines.
Yep, that's not enough. Medevac picked up units and got killed by a Spore Crawler. That was painful.
Well, Catz gutted the natural base. He took out the command center. He took out the second factory. This is looking pretty rough for Tyga. I don't know if he can recover at this point. I mean, his upgrades are good. That's the one great thing he has going for him. But Catz has got all the time in the world to get +3. He's got all the time in the world to get Ultralisks.
Yes.
That's a bunker full of units.
Oh, watch out! Yeah, he last time Catz didn't want to fight into this because there is a bunch of Widowmines. There are no Widowmines. The Thor goes down easy peasy. The bunker is the scariest thing he has right now.
The reinforcements might be able to mop up some of the mutas. The Banelings do go off the command center though. Very calculated attack out of Catz. Good game is called, and Catz will tie up the series 1-1. Nice. But